I'd like to thank everyone for coming to this briefing today. My name is Simone Cranston Rhodes, Regional Organizer for Tenants Together, California's statewide organization for renters' rights. With me today is a number of tenants, advocates, and community members, and I thank you all for coming. I will introduce our speakers shortly. First, I want to recognize the many organizations that have partnered with Tenants Together as a part of our Slumlord Free Fresno campaign. Slumlords are literally making Fresno sick. As a part of the community, we need to take a strong stand against slumlords and keep our properties up to code. Our focus is on the plight of tenants at the Fresno Inn. This situation shows what happens to slumlords when slumlords are allowed to take advantage of tenants. Our speakers have been involved in some capacity with the situation at the Fresno Inn. To recap, the Fresno Inn has been problematic for years. The city has repeatedly cited the owners, Campo de Campo LLC, and its owners for failing to comply with state and local laws. In blatant disregard for the health and safety of residents, the owners refuse to make repairs and refuse to make any relocation payments towards the tenants. After years of neglect by property owners, the Fresno Inn is reluctantly shut down by city officials who declared the property hazardous. The city moved the tenants to temporary accommodations at the Ashland Inn. City officials and nonprofits, service providers have been working hard to get new homes for the tenants. At the same time, tenants have been represented by law office of Kirkland and Rozzo, and they have filed a class action or a civil lawsuit against the owners. The tenant's attorney is here to talk more about the case. We will turn to our speakers, and please hold your questions until the end of the presentation. Our first speakers are people here to support Fresno Inn tenants. So we're going to turn it to Heather Rozzo, who is working on our case.
Hi everybody, it's really good to see you here today. My name is Heather Rozzo. I am an attorney here in town. I am from Fresno. And so I really appreciate that you folks are interested in this matter, because something needs to be done about the slumlords that are ruining our city. We have a situation that occurred on May 7th where the city had to come and condemn the entire Fresno Inn. Now, Fresno Inn is a rundown motel on Motel Row that some rich investors from Los Angeles swooped into our city, bought up this motel, converted it without any zoning permits, without getting the proper licenses, came in, converted this old motel into long-term living. Then they charged our citizens an exorbitant amount of money, way over fair market rents, for these apartments that are in deplorable conditions. You have a situation where this building is literally decaying around you. You have walls that are, you have mold growing on the walls, you have ceilings caving in, you put your hand on the wall, your hand falls through the wall. It is ridiculous, the situation that this motel is in, this apartment complex, Fresno Inn. So what happened is on May 7th, the city came in and did a re-inspection on the units. And what they found is that not one, not two, 42 code violations at this motel. Okay, code enforcement has been on this case since May 2013. They've cited these owners for 42 different code violations. You know how many have been corrected? 0. These owners have done nothing to fix the situation. And what happened on May 7th is code enforcement came back out to re-inspect the property and found a very dangerous gas leak. This gas leak was described to me as so dangerous that if someone had lit a cigarette, the building, Fresno Inn, would have exploded, and the children's center next door would have been disintegrated. It is just ridiculous. And every situation in which the owners can be held accountable, they haven't. They hide in their fancy LA apartments, and they don't do anything. They don't show up to our administrative hearings. They're not accountable. And you know what's happened is when the city had to condemn these 33 units, okay, on May 7th, 65 people are now homeless. 65 people. And did the owners step in and pay the relocation fees that they were supposed to pay? No, they didn't. And you know what had to happen? The taxpayers had to step in. The city has been on top of this, thank God. Thank God our city is finally coming in to solve this problem and helping all of us to keep Fresno free from slumlords. But we had to have Red Cross out there. Animal, because there's displaced animals. There's 65 people that have nowhere to go. Their property is stored at Fresno Inn. They can't get their personal property. These people can't get their mail. They have no access to prescriptions that are mailed to them. These people are without a home. So the city has paid almost $30,000 to temporarily house our citizens of Fresno for the last 2 weeks, okay? Because the owners, under the health and safety code, the owners are supposed to step in and pay relocation costs for 2 months. And they didn't do that. We currently brought an emergency motion in court right here at this courthouse, okay? It's gonna be heard June 4th at 3:30. Department 503, Judge Snoffer is gonna hear this matter. This matter is a matter of first impression in Fresno. No citizens have ever stood up and asked the city to make owners comply with the health and safety code. Nobody has ever done that before, so this is a case of first impression. And I'm very interested to see how this turns out. Because right now we have these people from LA who come in our city and think they can just create these slums. They think they can create these slums because they've been getting away with it. And it's time that we all join together and stop this situation from getting even more out of control. The whole Southeast Fresno it's just, the conditions amaze me. It's deplorable what's happening to our city. And I'm glad that all of these people are here today to join together to finally make the public aware of what's happening, because the situation is outrageous. And these are people who can't normally stand up for their rights. It's very expensive to fight these landlords in court. And so you've got these people who can't afford to pay a lot of rent, and who can't afford the services of these high-priced lawyers. Like the landlords can afford fancy lawyers who call in from San Francisco and Los Angeles when we have our court hearings. And it's ridiculous. They don't even show their faces in our court. And we need to start holding them accountable. There's no reason why the city should be footing the bill for these doctors and real estate investors. There's just no reason why that should happen. And so I'd be happy to take any questions that you guys have regarding the lawsuit. But I'm glad to see everybody here today to support our tenants and our city, and to make this city a better place. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to have one of the tenants come and speak.
Hi, my name is Rita. Me and my boyfriend and my cat, we lived there for 20 months. And so it's just like a last minute thing, we put up the conditions. It was always, oh, we're going to help, we'll do this and do that. We had a door that you could just go, whoop, and anyone could have came in, but we stayed there because of the rent and stuff. And we're grateful for the help, that the city has done at the Ashland. But Westcare was helping as well, but they're out of funds right now. And so I'm working with Brad from the Regency, and he's going to try to at least place us somewhere, but with the funds. So we're just grateful for the help that we did get, and that we are getting still. But tomorrow at 11, this checkout, so we're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen then? But it's been stressful, but I'm just so grateful for all the all the people that do care.
How much was the rent at the?
$550 is what we paid. And it's like just a not even a 1-bedroom, but it's just me and my boyfriend and our cat.
And what was the condition of your room?
Like I said, the electricity didn't work. Well, the front door, it was like horrible. You could tell someone had like kicked it in. I don't know how many, numerous times. You could just like barely put your hand on it and it would open. Electricity didn't work. Really bad roach. It was horrible. You keep it clean, but they were still like coming out of, wherever. You couldn't even turn on your TV. They'd crawl out of your TV. It was pretty bad. So, yeah, it was like they never, they said that, oh, we're going to come spray, we're going to do this and do that. And I think in the 20 months we lived there, they came one. And I think it was like roach food because they got worse. The one time I did spray.
All right.
All right, thank you.
And we're going to have a community leader, Barbara Fiss.
Thank you, Simone. I'm really happy to be here. I learned about what was going on at the Fresno Inn several months ago. Friends in the neighborhood who belong to churches that were servicing the motels in that area and helping provide food and counseling and simple things like rides were letting us know that there was deplorable conditions at the Fresno Inn. And then also hearing that the city had inspected and given citations. So we had learned that things were going on. And then on May 7th, when there was that gas leak and people had to leave like that day, and they were immediately homeless, and the city stepped in and placed them and found cooperative owners at different inns and motels on Motel Drive to take all these folks in. But what became very apparent is that the property owners weren't going to pay for these things, and the amount of just tension and stress involved with those volunteers, as well as the tenants at the Fresno Inn and the staff at the city, and then the staff at all these agencies now coming in to assist to prevent folks from the brink of becoming homeless from being homeless. To find out that the property owners really don't have to feel any of that tension or stress. Now, this is an unbelievable story, but it is not an uncommon story in the city of Fresno. And so I'm with the Lowell Neighborhood Association, and what we have learned in our neighborhood is that there are numerous apartments, units, houses. We're 87% rental in our neighborhood that are owned by property owners who don't feel enough sting to provide a door that locks, electricity, heating or air conditioning, a working stove for $550 a month for a studio apartment. We have folks paying good money who are living in really sad situations. Now, I'm concerned about what this may be for volunteers or citizens helping their neighbors out who may advocate on those folks' behalf, because the city comes in and do what they're supposed to do and inspect, they may condemn, and we have more people that are homeless, and we will ask the city to help relocate. But this is money that should be coming from the property owner's pocket, and proactively they should be taking care of things, and it shouldn't be draining our very few city funds. So I'm really proud of Rhea coming today to share her story, considering that she does not know where she's going to be living tomorrow afternoon. And so it's just been a very tense week for her the last couple of weeks, and it's just wonderful that you're here to hear the story. I know it's an unbelievable story, and it is not uncommon. There's so many, hundreds and thousands of units, or actually thousands of units in the area that are very similar. So hopefully the city will be able to find a way to help keep property owners accountable for this.
Great. Now we will take questions.
Question for the tenants: where will you go tomorrow when you have to check out?
We don't know. We don't really know. We're just like up there. We have everything ready just to walk around. We haven't really decided. It's kind of scary.
So you said that the city gave some ability of people to move into other housing. How long is that for? Is it for a limited period of time, or is it indefinitely?
The housing, they're trying to, they want to relocate everyone into permanent housing. So just like the funds, and then the situation, it's just hard. So there's a few people that they just, like we're one of them that we're going to work with, like I said, Brad. Hopefully we'll see what happens there. I think he's going to find us a place that's affordable for us, and then we don't know too much about it.
And is that for everybody, or is it just for some of the people? You'd said that some people were homeless.
I'll address the question.
Okay, yeah.
We know there's about 8 people out of the 60-something who have actually found permanent housing. And there are some people that are working still with different service providers to get housing. One of the problems is that for anyone, it is very hard to relocate in such a short amount of time to find new housing. And these people are having to go through that. So not everyone has found housing as of yet. And like she said, some people have to check out of the hotel tomorrow, and they still don't have their housing, even though they're working towards that path. So it's a very difficult situation.
Simone, is there a cutoff date when the city stops paying the bill completely? monthly?
The city is, as of Wednesday, the city is working on a day-to-day basis with the tenants on how much longer they're going to house them at the Ashland Inn.
As far as finances, how are a lot of these individuals, are they on public assistance, or do they hold jobs that they're trying to make means on this?
I'll have to look into that for you. I'm not sure.
As of today, are they still paying for the tenants to be at the other hotel?
They are paying for some tenants to still live at the Ashland Inn, yes, as of today.
Do you total how many tenants with Ashland Inn that are being paid for?
I do not know that. I could look into it for you.
Heather, can you go into the lawsuit, what you guys are alleging? Exactly?
Sure, yeah, sure. And to answer your question regarding the city, just to go back to that, it's next Wednesday. That's the cutoff date. The city has, it's crazy. The city's paying about $380 per unit to house these people. $380 a week. Okay, there's 65 displaced people. So think how much money is coming out of our taxpayer funds to rectify the situation instead of the landlords. The lawsuit right now, our focus is on emergency relief, because Wednesday you're going to have 65 people basically without anywhere to go and without any long-term goals. What was supposed to happen is the owner was supposed to step in and provide 2 months of what's called relocation benefits. Relocation benefits are benefits that would kind of tide these people over for 2 months, okay? And this is under the Health and Safety Code. The owners were supposed to step in within 24 hours of the inn being evacuated. They were supposed to step in and provide these relocation benefits. It hasn't happened. They haven't stepped up. We had to file an emergency motion for injunctive relief to ask the owners to comply with their duty. We're just asking them, please, comply with your duty. We've got 33 units that the entire Fresno Inn has been condemned. Okay? It's been vacated. You've got all of these people with nowhere to go. At least you can do is house them for 2 months until they find something permanent. I mean, that would be the humane thing to do, but it's not happening. It's not happening, and I'm really concerned because I represent 28 people, okay, in this case, 28 out of the 65. And they're calling me every day saying, Heather, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And what am I supposed to tell them? And the owners are represented by insurance company. They actually have an insurance policy that covers, some of the causes of action in our complaint. And our underlying complaint is arguing for habitability. The owners, when they collect rent, they have a duty to make the residents safe, right? It has to be safe and habitable. And there's a code section that lists, what makes an apartment safe and habitable. And here, like I said, 42 code violations, 42. This place hasn't been safe and habitable for a really long time. And the owners still are collecting rent. They collected rent up until a certain point, and then, we made the argument that these tenants shouldn't be paying. They should not be paying to live in these conditions where you've got roaches crawling all over you, you've got rodents, you've got bed bugs. It's deplorable. I've never seen anything so horrible.
As far as were they on a month-to-month basis as far as paying rent? Could they leave at any time?
Well, each tenant has a different agreement, I guess, with the landlord. These aren't your typical landlords. They don't have, the month lease or whatever. They don't have the credit checks that everybody has. Basically, they have a different deal with everybody. So some people are month to month. Some people actually have longer term leases. Some people only have oral leases.
The reason I ask that is if they're paying $550 a month and you're renting a room down the street for $380,
right.
That's about a $170 difference.
Right. Yeah.
So why didn't they just leave at one point?
The tenants?
Yeah.
The tenants had nowhere else to go. This is their home. This is where all their stuff is. This is where their animals are at. This is, their children go to school nearby. They thought the owners were going to correct the situation. They thought the fact that code enforcement had come out and cited these people, that something would happen. That's, that these owners would actually step up to the plate, I think, was what everybody thought. And it just didn't happen. It just did not happen.
And with 42 code violations in the city on the case last year, how come it took so long to get the ball rolling and barely now trying to get the owners accountable?
I think that would be a better question for the city attorney. I think what happened is the owners appealed. They appealed the code violations, okay? And then what happened is there was no administrative law judge in our budget to hear these violations. So that's something we need to address together as a city and as a community to put more people on this. Because right now there just isn't the budget or the funds to take care of these problems. And we have a lot of people who are in this situation. I know probably a lot of your viewers right now, they either have friends, neighbors, family members, or they themselves are affected by the slumlord conditions here in Fresno. It's just not fair. And we do need to put more money into this situation so we can get this issue taken care of.
Of the 65, do you know how many are still being funded by the city right now?
That would be a good question for Elaine Robles McGraw. Ms. McGraw is the head of the Community Revitalization Department. This girl, man, she deserves so much praise. She went down to the Fresno Inn. She got Red Cross and all these different organizations together to come and help people. She had people helping the animals, feeding the animals. She had people making sure children were at a shelter and had somewhere to go. This lady's amazing. We're lucky to have her as part of our city, but she would be able to answer that and give you a definite answer. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.